Hello my precious friends, I really hope that you're doing great. Welcome to today's class. It's our 11th lesson on a given Form 3 mathematics topic called Commercial Arithmetics 2. So we are looking at our 23rd example, which reads that the cash price of a water pump is 28,000 shillings. It can also be bought on hire purchase by paying a deposit of 15% of the cash price and 20 equal installments of 1,350 shillings. So part of the question, they want us to determine how much more is the higher purchase price than the cash price. So because of the question, we are already given the value of the cash price. It means that our target is to find the value of the higher purchase price so that we can compare those two. So part A of the question, we're going to start by getting the higher purchase price, of course, which is always given by the deposit. Then of course we add the total installments. So from the formula, clearly we shall need the value of the deposit. Then the total installment, of course, we shall need the period, which is 20 months, and each installment was 1,350 shillings. So we are told that it can also be bought on hire purchase by paying 15% of the cash price as the deposit. Therefore, it means that for us to get the deposit, so the deposit will be given by 15% of the cash price. So this will be equal to, we take 15 over 100, then we multiply by the cash price. Of course, the cash price was 28,000 shillings. So these two zeros are going to cancel out. So we'll have 2 zeros and 2 zeros cancelling out. So it means that our deposit will be 15, then multiplied by 280 shillings. So if you feed 15 times 280 on the calculator, you're going to get 4,200 shillings as the deposit of that particular investment. Having gotten the deposit, we can now easily compute our higher purchase price. So it means that the higher purchase price will be equal to the deposit. Then of course we add the total installments is always given by the period of installment. Then we multiply by the value of each installment. So this will be equal to the deposit. We've gotten it as 4,200 shillings, then plus the period was 20 equal a month. So the period is 20, then multiplied by each installment was 1,350 shillings. So this will be equal to 4,200 shillings. Then of course plus, if you take 20 multiplied by 1,350, your calculator will give you a total of 27,000 shillings. So if you take 4,200 plus 27,000 shillings, you're going to get 31,200 shillings. So that will be the total higher purchase price. Now, part A wanted us to find how much more is the higher purchase price than the cash price. So you're going to say that the higher purchase price is more than the cash price. It's more than the cash price by, so we'll take the higher purchase, which is 31,200, then we subtract the cash price was 28,000 shillings, so minus 28,000 shillings. So this will give you a total of 31,200 minus 28,000 shillings. You'll get 3,200 shillings. So it means that our higher purchase price was more than the cash price by 3,200 shillings. Then we move to part B of the question. So in part B of the question, we are being told that to find that if the simple interest was charged on the remaining balance. Remember, when we talk of the remaining balance, we simply mean the difference between the cash price and the deposit, which is basically equal to the principal. So we're going to say that the remaining balance is basically what we are calling the principal. This one is the principal, which is always equal to the difference between the cash price. So remember, the principal is always given by the difference between the cash price and the deposit. Whenever you subtract the cash price and the deposit, you usually get the remaining balance, which is usually the principal. So our principal is equals to cash price minus deposit, which is equal to, the cash price was 28,000 shillings, then minus, we are told that the deposit was 15% of the cash price, which you have already computed here. The deposit was 4,200 shillings. So if you take 28,000 minus 4,200 shillings, you'll get that the principal was 23,800 shillings. So this was the principal. This was the principal of that particular investment. Now, having gotten the principal, the question wants us to find that if the simple interest was charged on the remaining balance after paying the deposit, calculate the annual rate. So remember, annual means per year, the rate of simple interest charged to the nearest whole number. So they are talking of simple interest. Now we know that the formula connecting the simple interest and of course the other values that we are given here is the formula for the amount of the simple interest. We know that the amount of simple interest is always equal to the total installment. It's always equal to the total installments. Therefore, we are going to equate these two. So the amount of simple interest will always be given by the principal, then plus the simple interest, which is equal to the total installment. Of course, will be given by the period of installment, then multiplied by each installment. We multiply by each installment. So the principal, we have already computed it here, which is 23,800 shillings. Then we are going to add the simple interest. Of course, is given by the principal times rate times time, then over 100. Then of course should be equal to the period of investment, then multiplied by the value of each installment, the value of each installment. So this will be 23,800 shillings, then plus the principal is still 23,800 shillings. Then of course we multiply with the rate. So our rate of investment, that is what we are looking for, because the question wants us to find the annual rate. So because the rate is annual, it means that our period must be converted into years. So the rate is R, then of course over 100. So the period T must be converted into years because they want the annual rate. So our period was 20 equal months. So we're going to have 20 months, then we'll divide by 12 because we want to convert this month into years. Remember, 1 year is always equal to 12 months. Therefore, what about 20 months? So this will be 20 months divided by 12 months multiplied by 1 year. I'm converting this one into years because I'm being told that they want the annual rate. So the rate should be in per year. Therefore, the period must also be converted into years. So our period T is 20 divided by 12. So this must be equal to the period of investment is 20. Then each installment was 1350. So multiplied by 1350. So we're going to simplify this particular equation so that we are having, we are going to get the following. So this is 23,800, then plus, of course, we're going to multiply the numerator. So if you take 23,800 multiplied by 20, your calculator is going to give you 476,000. Yeah, this will give us 476,000. Then divided by, if you take 100 multiplied by 12, this will give you 1,200 shillings. Then of course there is still an R on that particular equation, which is equals to 27,000. So this one is equals to 27,000. That is, if you take 20 multiplied by 1350, your calculator will give you 27,000 shillings. So our aim is to get the value of R. So for us to get the value of R, we are going to proceed as follows. So I'm going to collect the like terms. So I'll take this one towards the right hand side, so that I'm remaining with the 476,000 R. Then of course divided by 1,200 being equal to 27,000. Then of course it will be minus 23,800 shillings. So this will be 476,000 R divided by 1,200 is equals to, if you take 27,000 minus 23,800, your calculator will give you 3,200 shillings. So to get the value of R, I'll multiply both sides of the equation by the reciprocal of the coefficient of R. So it means that R will be 3,200, then multiplied by the reciprocal of this one, will give us 1,200 divided by 476,000. You feed this on the calculator, you'll get your value of R being equal to 8.067%. So of course this one is per annum. But the question wanted us to give our answer, that is the annual rate of simple interest charged to the nearest whole number. Therefore it means that the rate will be equal to, so to the nearest whole number, this will be 8%. Then of course per annum, because we were told the annual rate. So that was the rate per annum. Next, we look at our example number 24, which reads that the cash price of a cooker is 27,500 shillings. A customer opts to buy the cooker on hire purchase terms by paying a deposit of 17,250 shillings. Determine the monthly rate of compound interest charged on the balance if the customer is required to repay by 6 equal monthly installments of 2,100 shillings each. So the first thing we're going to do is to get the balance. So remember the balance. The balance is basically what we are calling the principal. The balance will give us the principal. Of course, we know that the principal will always be given by the difference between the cash price and the deposit. The cash price and the deposit. Therefore, our principal, the principal will be equal to, the cash price was 27,500. So this is 27,500 minus the deposit was 17,250. 17,250. So if you take 27,500 minus 17,250, your calculator will give you 10,250 shillings. Now, having gotten our principal, we know that the formula that is going to connect our compound interest and of course things to do with the higher purchase price, of which we are given the cash price. We also have the deposit. We are given each installment and of course the period. So we are going to use the formula that is connecting amount of compound interest and the total installment, because here we are given the total, that is the compound interest. Remember the other one we were equating to the formula for the amount of simple interest because the question was dealing with simple interest. But if you're given the compound interest, you deal with the formula for the compound interest. Therefore, you're going to say that the amount of compound interest must always give us the total installment. So this must give us the total installment. Now we know that the formula for the amount of compound interest will be given by the principal into 1 plus the rate of 100 then to the power of n. So this should give us the total installment, of course, which will be given by the period of investment multiplied by each installment. We multiply by each installment. So this is the formula that will help us get the rate R. Now, the principal, we already have the principal, which is 10,250 shillings. So we are going to have 10,250 shillings, then into 1 plus the rate. Remember, the rate is what we are looking for, of 100, then to the power of n. Now, the question wants us to determine the monthly rate. So if the rate is expressed into monthly basis, it means that our period should be left in month. That is why our n, we are going to work with the n which is still in months. We are told 6 equal monthly installment. Therefore, our period will be 6 months. So I've not converted the 6 months into years because the question wants me to get the rate in monthly basis. So it is monthly rate. Therefore, the period must also be left into months. That is why we are not converting the 6 months into years. But if the question was that we get the annual rate, if the question was to get the annual rate, then it means that our n, we will have used it as 6. That is, we convert the 6 months into years. We know that 1 year is equals to 6 months. 1 year is, that is 1 year is 12 months. So we'll have asked ourselves, what about the 6 months? So it will be 6 divided by 12 multiplied by 1 year. So we'll have worked with 6 over 12, which is equals to a half a year. So we'll have worked with our period being a half a year. But because they want the monthly rate, we are not going to convert our period into years. Therefore, we work with 6, which must be equal to the period of each investment, of course, was 6 months, then multiplied by each installment was 2,100 shillings. So on simplification, we are going to have the following. So we need to get the value of R. So of course, I'm going to divide both sides of the equation. So we'll have 10,250 into 1, then plus rate of 100 to the power of 6 being equal to, if you compute 6 multiplied by 2,100 on the calculator, this one is going to give you 12,600 shillings. So that means we are having 10 to 50 into 1, then plus R of 100 to the power of 6 being equal to 12,600 shillings. Then you're going to divide through by 10,000 to 50. I also divide this side by 10,250. So 10,000 to 50, 250. So of course these two will cancel out. So we are remaining with 1 plus rate of 100 to the power of 6 being equal to 12,600 divided by 10,250. So to solve for the value of the unknown, so I'm going to take 6th root on both sides of this equation. So I take 6th root on this side and another 6th root on this other side, so that the 6th root and power 6 are going to cancel out. So that means you're going to remain with the 1 plus rate of 100 being equal to. So to compute for the 6th root, you're going to follow this procedure on your calculator. You press 6, then followed by shift, then followed by this particular symbol, then followed by open bracket 12,600, then divided by 10,250. So you follow exactly these instructions on the calculator. Your calculator will give you 1 plus R over 100 being equal to. So you press these particular instructions, your calculator is going to give you 1.035. So that means R over 100 will be equal to 1.035, then of course minus 1. So it means that you're going to have R over 100 being equal to 1.035 minus 1. This will give you 0.035. So to get the value of R, I'm going to multiply both sides of the equation by 100. I also multiply this side by 100 so that these two will cancel out. So that means we are going to get our value of R being equal to the following. So 1 0, 1 decimal, another 0, another decimal. So it means that our rate will be equal to 3.5%. Then of course this is per month, because we were told to determine the monthly rate of compound interest. Therefore the rate was equal to 3.5% per month. So this was the rate of the compound interest. Thank you very much for accompanying me until the end of this particular lesson, and do not take it for granted. In case you are new to the channel, kindly hit the subscribe button and also